Listen, let me tell you something right now that could change your life. Success does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your mind. The fastest way to shift your external world is to dominate your internal world. Your mindset is either a miracle magnet or a poverty prison, and you get to choose. Most people live their lives waiting for something to change, waiting for the right time, as it helps us, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to show up and rescue them from their situation. But what they don't understand is that transformation doesn't come from waiting. It comes from deciding. If you want to build a success mindset fast, you have to stop playing with the idea of change and make the decision to change. Today, right now. Let's be clear, success isn't reserved for the lucky. It's not an exclusive club for people born into wealth or privilege. Success is the natural result of someone who has decided to stop living by default and start living by design. The decision is the catalyst. It's the spark that ignites the fire. But this decision isn't emotional. It's spiritual, intellectual, and deeply intentional. The word decide itself means to cut off. When you decide to change your mindset, you are literally cutting off every other option. You are saying, I am no longer available for negativity. I am no longer tolerating mediocrity. I am no longer entertaining small thinking. That's not just motivation. That's a mental renovation. See, your mind is like a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermostat. A thermometer only reports what the temperature is, but a thermostat sets the temperature and everything around it starts to adjust. When you decide to change your mindset, you are resetting the temperature of your life. You're telling your habits, your thoughts, your behavior, and your decisions, this is the new standard now. You may not feel different immediately, but that doesn't matter. Decisions shape destiny more than emotions ever will. And here's the thing, most people don't make real decisions. They make suggestions to themselves. I start thinking more positively. I should be more disciplined. But should is a weak word. Should changes nothing, only must move the needle. When you decide that a success mindset is not optional, but essential, that's when everything begins to shift. Not when you hope, not when you wish, when you decide. It's also important to understand that a success mindset is not something you're born with. It's built. And the construction starts the moment you decide. But don't confuse the decision with the result. The decision is the first brick. It's the foundation. Some people decide for one day and then quit the next. That's not a decision. That's an experiment. A real decision is one that you commit to regardless of the circumstances. A real decision says, even if I feel tired, I still think like a winner. Even if I'm discouraged, I still think forward. Even if I fail today, I wake up tomorrow expecting victory. When you change your mind, you change your focus. And when you change your focus, you change your future. But the key is you've got to do it now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now, because the longer you delay the decision, the stronger your current mindset becomes. And let me tell you, your current mindset, if it's keeping you stuck, isn't going to volunteer to change. You have to override it with intentional authority. Sometimes we think building a success mindset means we need to consume more information. Read another book, take another course, watch another video. And while learning is good, it's not a substitute for deciding. You don't need more content, you need more commitment. The decision must come first. Learning follows. Action follows. But it all begins with one single, powerful, soul-level decision. I will no longer think like someone who is trying to survive. I will think like someone who is created to thrive. And that decision will make you uncomfortable as it helps us. It will challenge the stories you believed about yourself. It will stretch you. But that's a good thing, because your success doesn't lie in your comfort zone. It lies in your commitment zone, and commitment is born the moment you decide. So let me ask you right now, are you still negotiating with your old mindset? Are you still letting the past tell you what you can't do? Are you still waiting for the perfect moment to become the person you were always meant to be? Because if you are, let me lovingly tell you, it's not coming. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And now is enough. Now is powerful. Now is all you need, because success doesn't wait for the prepared. It responds to the decided. Words are not just sounds. They are spiritual assignments. What you speak consistently has the power to shape your mind, your reality, and your destiny. If you truly want to build a success mindset fast, then you must understand the power of your tongue. You cannot think success and speak failure and expect your life to move forward. Your words either align with your vision or assassinate it. That's why the principle is simple and powerful. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. This isn't about positive thinking or empty affirmations. It's deeper than that. This is about aligning your mouth with your mission. When your words line up with your purpose, your reality starts to obey your voice. Because speaking isn't just about communication, it's about creation. In fact, if you go back to the very beginning of all things, creation didn't begin with a hammer or a tool. It began with a word. And that blueprint still holds true in your life today. If you want to see change, start speaking it, even when it hasn't happened yet. Especially when it hasn't happened yet. Because when you speak life over your goals, your subconscious mind starts to rewire itself. Your behavior begins to match your belief. Your faith increases, your energy shifts, and the world around you begins to respond to the frequency you're emitting. But here's where most people get stuck. They speak according to what they see, not according to what they seek. They say things like, I'm so broke, or nothing ever works out for me, or I'm stuck, or I'm just not good at this. Those words become walls. And every time you say them, you're laying another brick. Before long, you're trapped inside a prison built by your own vocabulary. The words you speak are either invitations or barriers. They either call success into your life or push it away. So if you want to accelerate your mindset, start by disciplining your mouth. Begin declaring what you want, not just describing what you see. If you're struggling financially, don't keep talking about being broke. Start saying, wealth flows to me effortlessly because I solve valuable problems. If your business is slow, don't complain. Speak this, my business attracts the right clients, and I serve them with excellence. If your self-confidence is low, don't say, I'm not good enough. Say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am growing stronger every day. Now, will it feel fake at first? Of course it will. Why? Because your current environment doesn't yet match your confession. But that's not the point. The point is to keep speaking until it does. You're not lying when you declare your potential, you're leading. You are leading your mind, your emotions, your habits, and your life into alignment with your purpose. Here's something powerful: your words create images. And those images create feelings. And those feelings drive decisions. And those decisions determine destiny. So the fastest way to change your future is to speak in a way that generates new feelings, new decisions, and new actions. It all starts with your voice. That's why people with a success mindset don't talk like everybody else. They don't gossip. They don't complain. They don't rehearse negativity. They declare, they affirm, they prophesy. They say things that sound crazy to others, but feel true to their spirit. Because they know they're not waiting for the world to validate their vision. They're using their voice to manifest it. If you want to shift your life, you have to shift your language. Wake up every morning and speak what you seek. Say it loud. Say it often. Say it like it's already yours. Because guess what? Your life will eventually catch up to your language. Words are seeds, and your life is the soil. Whatever you plant consistently will grow, whether you want it to or not. So stop planting weeds and start planting greatness. You've got to get militant about this. Monitor every sentence that leaves your mouth. Are your words building the life you want or tearing it down? Are you rehearsing problems or reinforcing promises? Your mouth should be your greatest tool, not your greatest liability. So I challenge you, starting today, speak with intentionality. Build a success vocabulary. Use words that lift, empower, and stretch you. Because when you speak what you seek long enough, something incredible happens. You start to believe it. And once you believe it, you start to behave like it. And once you behave like it, the world has no choice but to reflect it. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. Your mouth is the construction site of your mindset. Use it to build something extraordinary. So many people are chasing money, and that's exactly why they can't catch it. They've made money the goal, the focus, the obsession. But the truth is, money is never the root. It's the fruit. And if you chase the fruit instead of cultivating the root, you'll always find yourself running in circles. If you want to build a success mindset fast, you must understand this foundational true thing. Master the law of value before you ever focus on the law of money. Money is a result of one thing: value exchanged. The world doesn't pay you for your time. It pays you for the value you bring in that time. There are people who make $10 an hour and people who make $10,000 an hour. What's the difference? Value. The market is simply a reflection of how much problem-solving power you bring to the table. So if you want to increase your income, increase your impact. And impact begins with value. You see, value is created when you help people, when you meet a need, when you solve a painful problem, when you become an answer to someone's question. That's value. You don't have to be rich to start, but you do have to become valuable, because money moves to value like water flows to gravity. It's a natural law. Too often, people are so focused on how can I make more money that they forget to ask the better question: how can I become more valuable? That shift in thinking is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly succeed. A success mindset doesn't chase money. It creates value and lets money become the side effect. Let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with desiring wealth, but you must understand that wealth is a byproduct. It's the result of usefulness, not just business. You can hustle all day long and still be broke if what doing isn't bringing transformation or solutions to someone else's life. That's why you've got to get strategic about your gift. Ask yourself, how can I use what I know, what I've experienced, or what I've overcome to bring change to someone else? Here's a truth that will unlock your potential. You are already carrying something valuable. Your story, your skill, your knowledge, your ability to inspire, encourage, build, teach, lead, create, fix, organize. Whatever it is, you already have a seed of value. But until you plant it in the soil of service, it will never grow. That seed must be developed, refined, and leveraged to meet a need. The more people your value serves, the more income your value will generate. And this is where a lot of people miss it. They think, once I get the money, then I'll learn the skills, then I'll become valuable. But it doesn't work that way. You have to become it before you attract it. You've got to put in the work up front. Master your craft. Study your field. Know your audience. Build something that helps someone. And when you do that, consistently money becomes attracted to you. Not because you're chasing it, but because you've become magnetic through the value you offer. And here's the kicker. Value isn't about what you think is important. It's about what other people are willing to exchange for. You may love doing something, but if no one else finds it useful or helpful, it won't translate into income. That's why the smartest people with a success mindset don't just focus on their passions. They align their passions with problems, as helps us. They take what they love and use it to fix what others fear. That's where the magic happens. If you truly want to build a success mindset fast, stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. Don't just ask how you can get. Ask how you can give in a way that multiplies. Every business, every brand, every billionaire, what do they all have in common? They found a way to scale value. They didn't get rich by chasing checks. They got rich by solving problems at scale. So let this be your new mindset. I am a value generator. Every room I walk into becomes better. Every person I speak to gets wiser, stronger, freer. I don't need to chase money. Money chases me because I've become a solution to someone's problem. When you master the law of value, money becomes a natural consequence. You'll no longer fear it. You'll no longer chase it. You'll understand it. You'll command it. And it all starts with that mindset shift from scarcity to service, from lack to value, from chasing to attracting. Build value and success will follow every time. One of the greatest enemies of a success mindset is the addiction to comfort. Comfort feels good, but it doesn't produce growth. In fact, comfort is often the disguise that mediocrity wears to keep you small. If you truly want to build a success mindset fast, you have to be willing to embrace discomfort, not as punishment, but as a pathway. Because everything you desire, every dream, every goal, every breakthrough is sitting on the other side of something uncomfortable. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid pain, inconvenience, and challenge like it's the enemy. But in reality, discomfort is the gym where your mindset gets trained. It's the pressure that forges perseverance. It's the friction that reveals who you really are. If you only show up when things are easy, you'll never become great. Success doesn't come to the comfortable. It comes to the committed. Let's break this down. When you push beyond what's easy, you grow your capacity. That's how you build mental strength. Just like muscles grow under resistance, your mindset grows through challenge. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you face fear instead of running from it, every time you take a risk instead of playing it safe, you're building the neural pathways of success. And here's the truth: discomfort is not the problem. Your relationship with discomfort is. You've been trained to believe that if it feels hard, it's wrong. But what if the opposite is true? What if the fact that it's hard means you're finally doing something that matters? What if pressure isn't the signal to stop, but the confirmation that you're on the right path? Let me tell you something powerful. Your next level is always hidden in your current resistance. If it doesn't stretch you, it won't strengthen you. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So stop looking for shortcuts and start looking for growth opportunities. Success requires sacrifice, not of your soul, but of your smallness. Most people want transformation without transition. They want the outcome but resist the process. But growth is always a process, and it's often uncomfortable. You will doubt yourself. You will want to quit. You will wonder if it's working. But if you stay the course, if you learn to become comfortable with discomfort, you will rise. See, discomfort is where the separation happens. It's where those who dabble fall away and those who are devoted push forward. That early morning when you don't feel like getting up and working, that's where champions are made. That uncomfortable conversation you don't want to have, that's where relationships are healed. That scary leap into something new, that's where breakthroughs begin. But don't just face discomfort. Lean into it. Reframe it. Instead of saying, this is hard, say, this is helping me grow. Instead of saying, I'm scared, say, I'm stretching. Instead of saying, this is too much, say, this is the cost of elevation. The way you talk to yourself in those uncomfortable moments will determine whether you stay stuck or step up. And you know what's beautiful? Over time, discomfort becomes familiar. What used to terrify you starts to energize you. That workout that once drained you becomes your therapy. That presentation that once gave you anxiety becomes your stage. That new skill that once intimidated you becomes your weapon. Why? Because you trained for it. You embraced the process. You outgrew the fear. A success mindset is forged in the fire of repetition and resistance. You don't just wake up with it one day, you develop it moment by moment, choice by choice. And each time you choose progress over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Every day you endure the discomfort of growth, you're building evidence that you're unstoppable. So ask yourself, are you more committed to your comfort or to your calling? Because you can't have both. You have to choose. The comfort zone is where dreams die, but the growth zone, that's where transformation lives. That's where purpose is unlocked. That's where greatness is born. The good news is you don't have to take giant leaps. Just start leaning into the discomfort a little more each day. Say yes when your fear says no. Push a little harder when your body says quit. Speak up when your doubt tells you to stay silent. These small acts of courage compound. And over time, they create a mindset that's resilient, focused, and fierce. Discomfort isn't your enemy, it's your training ground. Welcome it, learn from it, grow through it. Because the moment you embrace discomfort, you activate your destiny. Your environment is either feeding your future or fueling your failure. If you want to build a success mindset fast, you must become radically intentional about who you surround yourself with and what you expose yourself to. Nothing will sabotage your potential faster than a toxic atmosphere. You cannot grow greatness in soil that is soaked in doubt, fear, and limitation. The success mindset requires a success environment, period. Think about it. Every idea, every belief, every habit you carry is either being reinforced or removed by your environment. If you're surrounded by people who complain, who gossip, who fear change, who settle for average, then you're slowly being conditioned to do the same. And it doesn't matter how driven you are, your environment will eventually override your intentions if you don't protect your space. You need to be in rooms that make you uncomfortable, not because of drama, but because of expectation. You need to be around people who stretch your vision, who challenge your thinking, who make excellence normal. If you're the smartest person in your circle, you're not in a circle, you're in a cage, a comfort cage, a potential prison. And your success mindset can't grow in that kind of confinement. Sometimes elevation requires separation. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you're becoming different. You're choosing purpose over pleasure, discipline over distraction, growth over gossip. And not everyone is willing to walk that path. That's okay. You don't need to judge anyone, but you do need to guard your gates. Your ears, your eyes, your heart, these are the gates to your mindset. Whatever gets in begins to build something inside of you. So be ruthless about what you let in. What kind of conversations are you entertaining? Are they expanding your thinking or shrinking your faith? What kind of content are you consuming? Are you feeding your vision or numbing your potential? What kind of people are speaking into your life? Are they calling you higher or keeping you small? These questions are not optional. They are essential, because the fastest way to elevate your mindset is to upgrade your environment. Success is contagious. So is mediocrity. If you spend enough time with winners, you start to think like one. You start to speak differently, walk differently, believe differently. Not because someone gave you a motivational speech, but because proximity is power. Being around greatness wakes something up in you. It reminds you of what's possible. It disrupts your excuses. It demands more. You have to curate your circle like your future depends on it, because it does. Choose to walk with people who have a growth mentality, who speak life, who see opportunities, who take responsibility. People who clap when you win and challenge you when you slack. People who don't just dream big, but do big. When you're around those kinds of people, your standard shifts, and success becomes the baseline, not the exception. But let's be real, sometimes the hardest part of growth is letting go of the familiar. Some people have been in your life for years, but they're not aligned with your next level. They love you, but they don't understand your mission. They support you, but they can't run with your pace. And you have to decide, will you lower your life to match their comfort? Or will you rise even if it means walking alone for a season? Don't let loyalty to your past sabotage your assignment for the future. You're not abandoning people. You're accepting your purpose. And as you evolve, the right people will be drawn to your energy. People who are running in the same direction, people who get it, people who push you. Trust that. But first, clear the space. Also, understand this, your environment isn't just people, it's habits, routines, and atmosphere. Is your workspace cluttered or focused? Do you wake up with intention or reaction? Do you keep reminders of your vision in front of you, or are you surrounded by distractions? Design your environment to reflect the future you're building, not the past you're escaping. Create a space that inspires you. Set boundaries that protect your peace. Align with people who sharpen your thinking. Because when your environment supports your vision, your mindset accelerates. You don't have to fight so hard to stay focused. It becomes your default setting. So don't just change your mind, change your environment. Shift your space, shift your circle, shift your standards. Because once your environment is aligned, your growth becomes inevitable. And with that kind of momentum, success isn't just possible, it's predictable. There's a mindset that keeps people broke, stuck, and spinning in circles. And it sounds like this sus. I'll do more when I have more. That's the lie. The truth is, you'll have more when you do more. A success mindset doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. It creates progress with what it already has as it helps us. If you want to build that kind of mindset fast, you've got to take radical ownership of your actions. Starting now, not later. Stop waiting. Start executing. Execution is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can think, plan, vision board, journal, meditate, visualize, and affirm all day long. But if you don't act, nothing changes. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards performance. It rewards output. And the only way to move your life forward is to take bold, consistent action toward what you say you want. Most people are trapped in what looks like productivity, but it's really just glorified procrastination. They're busy, but they're not effective. They research endlessly, they plan forever, they get ready to get ready, but they never pull the trigger. And that's fear in disguise. That's perfectionism pretending to be preparation. But the success mindset understands this. Clarity comes through movement, not before it. You don't have to have it all figured out to get started. You just have to move. You don't need the full picture. You need the first step. You learn faster, grow faster, and win faster when you act in faith, not in fear. Success doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It meets you on the road. And every time you act despite uncertainty, you train your brain to believe you're capable. Here's what action does. It builds confidence. Not the kind of confidence that comes from hype, but the kind that comes from evidence. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, you build trust with yourself. You create a track record. You say to your subconscious, when I speak, I follow through. That's how self-belief is built, not by theory, by execution. And here's something powerful. Action doesn't just produce results. It exposes resistance. The moment you start doing as it helps us, everything that's been holding you back will come to the surface. That's good, because you can't conquer what you don't confront. When you move, the limiting beliefs get loud. The doubts show up. The old programming tries to pull you back. And that's when you know you're in the process of transformation. Execution isn't about perfection. It's about momentum. The longer you wait to act, the heavier your idea becomes. But when you move, even just a little, you activate energy. You break inertia. And that's what separates the dreamers from the doors. The dreamers wait for permission. The doors give themselves permission. They don't ask, can I do this? They say, I'm doing it, and I'll figure the rest out along the way. Stop negotiating with your purpose. Stop delaying your destiny. You're not lacking time, you're lacking urgency. You're not waiting on resources, you're waiting on resolve. As it helps us, you have what you need to begin. Start with what's in your hand. Use what you already know. Leverage what you've already lived. Don't downplay your experience, deploy it. Even the smallest consistent actions will compound. Don't underestimate the power of daily discipline. You don't have to build the whole house today. Just lay one brick. Make one call. Write one paragraph. Shoot one video. Have one conversation. Take one step. That one step might not seem big, but it breaks the cycle of inaction. And once you start moving, the path starts unfolding. A success mindset doesn't wait for motivation. It moves on mission. Motivation is a feeling. Mission is a decision. There will be days you don't feel like it. That's normal. But when your identity is tied to excellence, you act regardless of emotion. You don't act because it's easy. You act because it's necessary. Because your future depends on it. Because your calling demands it. You don't need another strategy. You need a decision. One firm, clear, committed decision. I will execute. No more excuses. No more delays. I move. Now, that decision alone will put you ahead of 90% of people. Most are still waiting for signs, for certainty, for confidence. But the success mindset knows so action is the cause, confidence is the effect. So stop waiting for the conditions to be perfect. They never will be. You were made to move in the middle of the mess. You were designed to act in the face of fear. You were born to build something with your bare hands, not just dream about it. And when you start acting, life starts responding, opportunities open, doors shift, people show up. but only after you move. Execution is your superpower. Use it daily, relentlessly, faithfully, because when you take action, even imperfect action, you prove to the world and to yourself that success is not something you wait for. It's something you create.